think your appearance in the Seattle court will do to the U.S. marijuana?
Well, I think it will invigorate our American supporters. A lot of Americans are very embarrassed. Millions of Americans are very embarrassed that their government, which is trillions of dollars in debt, still has the money to go chase down a Canadian, extract him from his country, bring him to the United States for selling seeds to consenting U.S. adults who are guaranteed under the Constitution of the United States life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And I certainly help them do that, and I also help them pursue their good health. Through the seeds I sold, we gave thousands of seeds away to American medical patients for free. We helped establish a lot of the medical marijuana strains and genetics that are in California today that are distributed legally under the California state legislation, Proposition 215. So, I'm just very, very disappointed the United States government, the so-called beacon of freedom in the world, is behaving like a tyrannical dictatorship, chasing down people like me whose politics are really what this is all about. This isn't about marijuana. You can get all the marijuana you want in California legally. 500,000 Californians have medical marijuana cards to go buy marijuana at any of the thousands of locations throughout the state of California, and hundreds of places sell seeds like I sold, and you can buy them in California right now. Anything I sold you can buy in California. So it's really hypocritical to extradite a Canadian to the United States under the circumstances of the current situation in California.
You're hoping for a huge outcry. What happens if you don't get that outcry? What happens if you don't reinvigorate it?
Well,
is this the end for people?
No, I will though. I'm the most recognizable person in this movement around the world. We had rallies last Saturday, 9 days ago, in 130 cities around the world, including Panama City, Copenhagen, Berlin, Dublin, New York City, Washington, D.C. So I know that there's going to be constant agitation for my release and transfer back to Canada, and I expect that to come from Canadians, Americans, and people all around the world. I'm going to end up causing a lot of disturbances in the body politic as a result of just one person being incarcerated. So I have every confidence that the American government's going to notice that I'm in their jails unjustly, and that the onus is on them to do something to reverse that.
But you've had a series of failures already. I mean, you ran for politics, you didn't get in, you started a number of political parties, that didn't happen. Why isn't this just another failure?
Well, because your goals don't get actualized overnight. Your goals, I've been doing this for 20 years, and it's taken 20 years to move Canadian public opinion to where a quarter of the public supports legalization to now a majority of the public. And if we had a functional democracy, marijuana would be legal already, because the majority of Canadians want to legalize marijuana. The last Angus Reid poll said 52% of Canadians, and get this, 65% of British Columbians want to legalize marijuana to stop gang violence and all the crime associated with the underground and prohibition. So we've already won the battle of hearts and minds of Canadians. Now we need Canadians to go and not just believe it, but go march to the polls and do something about that knowledge. That's what we lack. We lack the will to get out and vote and make what we believe happen as a reality. Instead, we're letting rural Canadians elect a rump party like the Conservative government, and they're dictating a completely different agenda than the one Canadians really do want. Mandatory minimums have already passed the House of Commons, and will put thousands more Canadians in jail if it passes the Senate this week or next. So our job as activists is to oppose Bill C-50 in the Senate and call your senator today.
Marc, how do you feel you'll be treated in the U.S. foreign prison system?
I've always been treated well by guards and inmates in Canada, but I will tell you this, prisons in Canada are run very professionally. I was arrested for my marijuana civil disobedience 23 times. I've been jailed 18 times in 8 out of 10 provinces. I spent 3 months in jail in Saskatoon on a charge of passing one joint. So I have a lot of experience with jails, inmates, and guards, and I can tell you that all Canadian inmates to me have always been polite and friendly, as have all Canadian jail guards and administrators. So the experience in the United States might well be very different, but I have nothing to say negative about my incarceration in Canadian jails other than they were run professionally.
Marc, when you finish your sentence, will you continue your activities where you've left off?
Well, you can never predict the future. I think it's arrogant to tell people what I'm going to be like when I get out. I hope I'm not negatively effective, and I can still maintain my idealism. And after I got out of a 3-month sentence in Saskatoon Correctional, I didn't like being there while I was there, but I had many epiphanies and revelations about myself and about the future of this country and activism and my fellow inmates and the guards who guarded me, and I came to a lot of self-awareness in jail. So I hope I can make good use of that time in more awkward circumstances in the United States.
what makes you think that the support you have will be enough to bring you back to a Canadian institution when that support wasn't enough over these past 4 years on either side of the border to quash the indictment, to stop the extradition in the first place?
Well, the good thing is, as time goes by, more and more facts about my case will come out, that the Canadian government refused to allow me to serve my time in Canada, that the Vancouver Police Department openly collaborated with DEA to get me charged in a U.S. court and a U.S. indictment. Rich Coleman, the provincial attorney general back in 2005, knew all this was happening and cooperated with the Americans. The Solicitor General, Rich Coleman at the time, cooperated with Americans. The Vancouver Police Department under Jamie Graham as chief constable collaborated and cooperated with the Americans to put me away. Jamie Graham has boasted to me himself personally that he was proud of all the activities he took part in order to put me in jail and to give me the reward I so richly deserved. He told me that himself personally. So the Vancouver Police Department have openly collaborated with foreign powers to take me away and put me in the U.S. jail because they could not achieve satisfaction here. I heckled the drug czar here in Vancouver in 2002, and he, within days, convinced the Vancouver Police Department to have an investigation be launched. So the more the facts will come out, the more Canadians should be indignant and will be indignant. And I have millions of supporters. It doesn't make sense to keep me in a U.S. jail if people are going to be harassing congressmen and the Bureau of Prisons and the Attorney General of the United States, as well as all their respective correspondents in Canada. If they want to listen to a million people rave on over the phones and in email and faxes and letters for the next year, then I welcome that challenge. We'll see what happens. But I think our support is going to be numerous, loud, angry, hostile, and ready to vote.
Ready to vote.
Yeah. Any further questions? Anything anyone would like to say? Then maybe I'll let my wife wrap up. Would you like to say something final before we go? Because you'll be the one staying behind.
Prayers are with you, Mark.
Thank you. Okay. Well, are you speechless? All right. So well, we'll be going into the courtroom now. It's probably the last time I'll be giving a press conference for a while. And if I get a chance to speak, yes, sir.
No, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to signal somebody back there.
If I get a chance to speak again, it'll be from a jail, calling collect. So people will have to talk to Jodie and see what arrangements can be made for me to talk to you, the media, wherever I happen to be in the world. And I look forward to coming back, and I hope everyone will give my wife all due respect and attention, and I admire her greatly for her great courage in handling this. She married me knowing that one day this would come, and I apologize to her for bringing all this pain and distress. I thank everyone for coming, and I'm going to go into the courtroom now, and I'm a proud person, a proud Canadian. I'm pleased with what I did, and I look forward to speaking to you all when I get back. Hopefully only a year, but perhaps 2-3 years from now, or whenever it is. Thanks very much.
I want to
love you, Marc.
We love you, Marc.
Love you, Marc. Love you, Jodie.
Here's your war on drugs, America. There's your war on drugs. Another family destroyed. Thank you, America. Thank you, DEA. Thank you, Vancouver Police. Media, get on your jobs and start reporting and exposing this conservative garbage.
Free Marc Emery! Free Marc Emery!